Hey everyone, it's Erin, the founder of Lady Bee Collective, and for my next topic, I put a poll out there and you guys wanted to know about, I don't know what that was, but you guys wanted to know about anxiety and anxiety tips, and I think who doesn't want to know that, especially now and just in general. So I don't know if you know much about me, you can go check out ladybeecollective.com and see more. But I suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, and I've had chronic anxiety most of my life. I didn't really know what it was. I just always felt on edge and uncomfortable, and then started to do more research and go through the process. I realized I had this chronic anxiety, and there came a point where I needed to realize that this is something that I'm going to be living with for the rest of my life. So I need to figure out ways to relieve it, to have tools to go to make myself as healthy as possible to relieve some of this anxiety. Again, we all have it to different levels, but we all do get anxiety. So a couple things that I say for the different tips would be, sometimes they seem simple, but they're harder than you think. So for me, with my anxiety, it's important for me to journal. So not everyone likes to journal, but whatever creative outlet works for you. So for me, sometimes I take out a pen and I just rant. I rant through my words. I might write down stuff that's bothering me. I might write people letters and never send them, just to get it off my chest and practice forgiveness. I just need to kind of let it out. And journaling, sometimes just drawing, writing down words has been really beneficial. So I highly suggest doing that, or some kind of creative form, singing, writing, dancing. I also dance too. Just anything to kind of get that out there, because the more we stuff it down inside, the more it just comes out in other areas of our life. So for sure, some kind of creative outlet. Number 2 for me, I never thought I'd say this, is deep breathing, like deep belly breathing. And so many people told me before, just breathe. And I got so annoyed, so bothered by that. I was like, if I could just breathe, I wouldn't have anxiety. And obviously I would do that. And so I started trying to meditate, and that really made me uncomfortable. I was terrible at it. I couldn't sit still. My mind wandered all over the place. And it just was so uncomfortable, I just stopped doing it. I didn't like the feeling. And then I realized that people are bad at meditation, because it allows our minds to go everywhere, and we have to sit with that in order to help us to get our minds to just stay present, and to help our nervous system to just regulate. So I gave it a chance again, but I started just doing more deep breaths in and out and concentrating on those breaths, nothing else, just on the deep breathing. And for me, I was a very shallow breather, so I understood the concept of breathe from your belly, but I didn't understand that, like, how do you do that? And so I started just taking deep breaths in and out, and I would just do it for a minute or two. And I noticed such a calming effect afterwards. So I began to do that daily because I wanted to make it a habit. At first I would just do it when I'd get really upset. I would take some deep breaths, and it worked, but it didn't work as well. But as I practiced them in times when I wasn't upset or anxious or emotional, it kind of made that habit of going to the breathing. So I would definitely suggest deep belly breaths. Next, I would say, and this is gonna sound simple too, and maybe not everyone has an issue with this, but hydrating. I don't know why. You can give me orange juice, you can give me wine, you can give me coffee, and I drink it and I'm like, I want more. But water, for some reason, is so hard for me to consistently every day drink enough water. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, how much harm could water do to my physical and mental well-being? Well, a lot. It makes you feel tired and groggy and anxiety-ridden. I would feel so anxious, and I didn't believe that water was the cause, and primarily it was. So I would say that when you're starting to just get in the habit of it, but when you're starting to not feel good, even before that, drink a glass of water. Wake up in the morning, have a glass of water, and throughout the day, just make sure that you're taking like little sips if you don't like to drink a ton of water like I do. It seems simple, but it could be harder than you think, and just make sure that you're hydrated. Always check that when you're kind of feeling a little off and not feeling good, because it really can wreak havoc on your body and your mind. And to go along with that would also be food. In the beginning, I have in the beginning of the anxiety, I just never felt like eating. And then as I got older, I ate all my emotions. And I've had a very volatile relationship with food. And it was hard for me to kind of instinctually eat. I either underate or overate. And I just couldn't regulate it that much. And then I started just to think, am I really hungry? Or am I just emotional? Or am I dehydrated? Because a lot of times when you're really dehydrated, you want food, you just don't want water. And so I would drink a little water and I would kind of see, and I would honor my body. I learned to honor my body. And that does not just mean to eat nutritionally dense food, which I highly suggest, but it just means to eat food that you feel like your body needs and it wants. And this is a long process, trust me, and we all have our own experiences, and it's just a very touchy, complex subject. But when you're feeling anxious, make sure just to eat a little bit. Whatever it is, just if you can get a little bit of food, it will make you feel better. And next, I would say movement. This is another, a lot of these, it's ironic because anxiety has such a stigma with it. And then added on to that is this taboo of just anxiety in general. And I think that with anxiety comes the fact that we need to move our bodies. And a lot of times when we're having panic attacks or we're in debilitating anxiety, we don't want to move. We just want to lay there, and that's fine as well. But our body needs movement. And a lot of times the taboo subject comes in when we talk about movement because people think that's exercise. And again, like food, we can go to either extent. We can just not exercise at all for our anxiety, and that kind of has the snowball effect where it gets worse and we feel bad, or we can overly exercise. And neither one is great. And that's why I say the word movement, just moving our bodies, getting up every so often and stretching and moving them, or finding something you love to do. Maybe it's dancing around, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's kickboxing, anything, just moving our bodies. And when I was really in the depths of my anxiety and I couldn't leave the house for many months, I didn't want to move. And then I slowly, from my couch, began to do just little arm rolls and neck rolls and leg kicks, and I would honestly do push-ups on my couch. Like, yeah, I said it, push-ups on my couch. Or I would do arm weights without arm weights, just to move my body, just because it felt stiff and I just didn't do anything. So you can start as slow as you want. You can do it from a chair, from a bed, at any age, whatever's going on, just moving our body. It feels good and it really does help with anxiety. And next, I would say support. I am one of those that, because I felt like no one would understand, and then I felt like no one could connect with me, and then I kind of felt like I enjoy my own company by now, I don't really need support. I can do it all on my own. I don't want to be dependent. I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to feel that anymore. So I just try to do everything on my own. And although I'm glad I learned the tips and different healthy mechanisms, I realized you need people. You really do. And at certain points, I didn't like or value myself. And so the people I was around didn't as well. And that became my basis for what I thought support was. And the thing is there are people out there that can love you and accept you for who you are. And that sounds so cliche, and trust me, I've heard it, and I just wasn't finding it. But when I started to really find out what I liked and what I wanted and started to like and accept myself, I put the standards up and the boundaries, but also the openness to accept people that would like me and I'd like them, and it would be a respectful relationship. And I didn't think that I could have those. I thought I was always kind of going to be a loner, and I'm a loner by nature, and I'm fine with that. But you really need to go to your support. They can be so helpful, and I don't care who you are loved, you are enough with that, and you're not some weirdo that you think in your mind. You're not some pity case. You're not any of those things. You're not unworthy of it. This doesn't define you, and I know if you're anything like me, you've been told that, or you have felt that from people. And don't let that block all of the positive energy and people that can be in your life. It's not worth it. So I would definitely say support. Next, I would say purpose. For a long time, I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I focused on the negative, and I honestly didn't feel like there was a purpose to me. And that's sad to say. And I felt that way. And sometimes, honestly, I still do. I don't know exactly what I want all the time. And I know that I want to help people. And I know that that's something I want to do. And I love writing and I love a bunch of stuff. But sometimes when you have anxiety, it all kind of just feels all jumbled in your head, and you just feel like, oh, I can't do anything, or I'm just not good enough for this, or who wants to listen to me, or who cares. And the thing is it doesn't matter. Do it for you. Find what you love to do and just start by making a video like this. I'm not good at this. This isn't something I do, but I thought, people want to hear more about anxiety, so if one person sees it, or no people see it, if this is what you love to do, if you want to educate people and help them, or whatever you want to do, go for it. It doesn't matter the followers or what's going on. Go for it. Find that purpose, find that inspiration, because although in the beginning it will heighten your anxiety because it will be different and uncomfortable, in the long run it will help it, because you won't feel that regret. You will be going after what you want regardless of what happens. We live one life, and finding that purpose and that inspiration and helping others with it, telling others what you know by experience or whatever, you are capable of that. You know it, you live it. You are an expert at yourself and the things that you've learned along the way, and many people were where you were at some point, and they want to know, they want to connect with you. So that is a huge thing. Next, I would say another taboo topic, but take your meds. Whether it's physical or mental, and people don't always want to, and they feel like, well, I don't want to take something every day, or why should I have to take something to make me live? But the thing is you want to live the best life you can. And if that's taking medication, then do it. Do it for yourself. That doesn't make you wrong or bad or defective or whatever you've heard before. But taking your medication and taking it consistently is something that's going to be beneficial. You are going to be your best self. I hate that, but it's true. You're going to be able to do the things you want. Otherwise, you might not be able to, and then you're going to feel that regret. And it's going to help ease the depression and the anxiety and everything else you've been feeling. So please do that. That is one huge thing to do. And I'd say finally, just going outside. If you can't go outside, just try to get some fresh air, whether you open your windows. Even in the winter, I'll open my windows. I like the fresh air, even if it's a small walk, even if it's, they talk about grounding and putting your feet on the floor or in nature or on the sidewalk, or just being a little bit more with nature. And trust me, I'm not exactly Miss Nature over here, but just getting the fresh air does so much for your anxiety. And I know you don't want to leave. There's times I didn't leave my house and I didn't care and I didn't want to take a step outside. I couldn't. I felt so anxious. But even if you sit outside for 5 minutes, that will be super helpful to you. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to add? I think that that's all for now. There might be a couple more, and that's perfect because I just did a blog on this yesterday, and it'll be up on my site. Check about Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's the 10 things that help my anxiety. So if you liked this, give me a thumbs up. This part I hate, it's always cheesy, but you know the deal. Like, subscribe to my station or channel. I don't know the correct wording. Let me know what you think, what topics you want to hear. Anything. I do anything from mental health to women's empowerment. I do goofy stuff, like I have my TikTok. I do relationship stuff, kind of anything women related I love to talk about. So let me know in the comments below, DM me. Again, go to ladybecollective.com. There's so many things that you can see on the site. Go to my Instagram and you can see all my stories and my posts and my writings, and I will talk to you people both. That was so weird. Yeah, I'm not even gonna edit this, but I hope you learned something from this. And again, check out the blog because it'll have a few more ways to decrease your anxiety. So next week you'll be hearing from me, and I'm not really sure the topic, so let me know. All right, have a great rest of your Memorial Day weekend, and I will talk to you later.